This is my Shadow Knight setup. I always hesitate to put these things out because it's not like I'm the most skilled Shadow Knight in the world. But this is a way that I've chosen to put together the character. Let's see if we can. Okay, again, similar to my paladin setup, in the upper left-hand corner, I filter melee failures and my melee hits to a specific window that's labeled crits and warnings. The goal of that is if I start seeing red, I know I need to turn or adjust my placement to hit the mob. And you can kind of see my general setup for the Shadow Knight. Now let's get more specific. Combat abilities windows. Unlike the Paladin, I do use these in a different way, but we've got the all my defensive discs, and then a few, one offensive DPS disc. Gird is up there, though I use that through my spam bar. Breather, it's up there, but I usually use it through my attack key. I don't really have a problem with endurance too often. Next is my first hotbar. You see the melee attack key. Put my mercenary on passive for pulling. And for my attack key, I put the mercenary on reactive. Got breather up there. I've got my tokens of resurrection. Mostly this bar is pet stuff, pulling stuff, and it's pretty self-explanatory. Next, we come to, this is my defensive bar for the most part. With L key, I go one-handed and shield. In key, I go two-handed. Then I've got, and all of these little toys are things you really, really want to get if you're going to be serious about playing a Shadow Knight. Obviously, the Epic, everybody knows about the Epic. That's key. 50% leech sting for 2 minutes out of every 5. It turns you into a beast. The amount of self-healing I can do on a Shadow Knight is probably 50% more than I see on a Paladin, where I'm really doing max healing. You want to get the Dustbringer's Plate Chest Guard of the Hateful. That's more leeching. Very necessary. And you want to get Spirit Drinker's Coating. That's well worth the work to get that through Night of Shadows. And if you've got somebody who's already done the progression, they can get that for you very easily. Unyielding Bravery, it's just one more defensive thing. And if you want to be a Shadow Knight and you're going to be tanking a lot of mobs, you want as many defensive things as you get. Mortal Coil is not something that's like an item, but it's an AA, and it's amazing. It's super powerful when it's up. It's been nerfed significantly. It used to be up pretty much 100% of the time once you started killing. But now it's 42 seconds, and then, you can't do it immediately. So it's still great, and you want to be kind of aware when it's up so that you can not use your other leech type abilities. But, you've got to keep something up when you're tanking tough mobs. Personal tribute and trophies, it's the same thing I do as my Paladin. Here's my shield flash. I've got that set up so that if I hit the 1 key or the 2 key, it's going to put up a defensive disc. One is shield flash and deflection discipline. But if those are already used, it'll put up something. It's either one. They're just defensive discs. Reaver Bargain. And then we get into the DPS type stuff. Intensity of the Resolute, Rage of Rolfron, Scourged Skin, Gift of Quick Spear, Spire of Reavers, Visage of Death, and Visage of Decay. I have Death Piece there if I hit the equal. and I have effigy on another bar. Very straightforward. This is how I handle these abilities. Next, you see the attack key. I talked about that. Disc breather, X target on, attack on, mark, and then pet attack. And then my various agro abilities, terror, petition, and then skin, paradoxical, it's not blessing, this is for the paladin version, the SK version, and then stance, death's effigy, so if I hit my number pad minus key, I'm going to be out of the combat. Change this line to stance reactive if you're going to be doing this system. Next line is my spam bar. I do bite and bite of chaos, Charka's bite and bite of chaos. Keep my mana up, gird, resolve, incapacity, and blade. You see my multi. Breather's useless there. I just threw it in. And terror is my first spell, and the rest are bigger taps that I use. Let's see. Then we're moving over to the right side of my pilot's cockpit, and where I have WASD, that would be my heals as a paladin. As an SK, it's taps, which I use. I have so many ways to do taps, but that's what it's all about, staying up. Leech Curse Discipline, Reflexive Retribution, Unholy Aura Discipline. Keeps me going. It's, and then let's see. Okay, and then with the final 3 bars, invite is just to make it easy. Mark various mobs. I've talked about that before. Got my burning salad, which is really a nice little boost when you're not with a bard or something. Started using my anniversary vicious rabbit because I had 50 charges, and it's coming up to, I better start using those so that I can go get it again. Heroic stats. As I said, heroic dexterity is my preference as a group Shadow Knight, but I really look at the next breaks, and so I have adjusted for heroic agility and heroic stamina as necessary. This is my normal Shadow Knight spell rotation. I used to have a lot of different rotations, and if I'm honest, this is what I use. It may not be the best rotation, but it's the one I use for the kind of grouping I'm doing, and I don't tend to change my setup too much anymore. It's not like the Paladin where I really max certain things or have certain setups for certain situations. As a Shadow Knight, these are the spells I'm using. I usually go for the B version of the Unity. In other words, the mana. I'm pushing the mana. Alternate abilities. I've maxed my Shadow Knight's alternate abilities, but I would prioritize your defensive AAs, then an increased taps and melee. It's all about staying up, and then finally, DPS and whatever else you've got. Thanks, guys. This is my Shadow Knight setup. If you have questions, ask me. If you see something that's clearly wrong, by all means, let me know. Take care.